What is lavender?
He's a little colorblind too, Stacy.
Yeah.
By all means, wear the leather cat suit. Dress for the job you want.
Dress for the job you want, Penn. Leather cat suit. Meow.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up our show.
Take care, everybody.
I don't think we need any more from her.
Yeah, we get older every day. Got more wrinkles, that's okay. Yeah, we're laughing when we age. Life is like a comedy stage. And that's why we got laugh lines.
Hey, everybody. I'm Kim Holderness.
And I'm Penn Holderness. Thanks for joining us on Laugh Lines.
Yes, if you have ever gone to a hairstylist and asked for the Rachel, you're home. We are your people.
That was, honestly, when's the last time you saw Rachel?
I have to say, it looked good on very few people.
Right.
Jennifer Aniston, 10 out of 10.
But then everybody got him. And
very few people pulled it off.
Yeah.
I don't have any, my
you don't
hair's.
think you could pull off a Rachel?
No, my hair's too fine.
Okay.
So I would just, yeah.
Before we get to our amazing interview, Stacy London, who was fantastic, by the way, we are so excited. At the time we're taping this, we have had this in our possession for exactly 3 hours.
Yes.
And we can't wait to show it to you. This is our new kids book on ADHD. It's called All You Can Be with ADHD.
If you're watching on YouTube, we're showing it to you right now. If you're listening, we're just going to describe it to you.
Yeah. It is illustrated by Vin Vogel. It is a way to explain to kids that ADHD is, you're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. You're not alone. You're not broken. You actually have a pretty cool brain. We told this story in a rhyming, whimsical, fun, funny way. As you can see, there's sharks with sunglasses. There's ninjas selling t-shirts. That's the kind of stuff you see here. You see other celebrities, famous inventors, and historically successful figures who have had ADHD. And it's a way for kids to hopefully understand it a little bit better. We have been talking about doing this for years, and just having it show up today was deeply emotional.
Everything makes me cry right now.
True.
It's perimenopause and my daughter
But I
leaving.
cried too, and I'm not crying that much right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So he showed it to me and I started crying. So you go to allyoucanbewithadhd.com. I don't know if I said that correctly. Allyoucanbewithadhd.com and to pre-order. And also we're going to be doing some school visits. I'm so excited. And we're going to have some, book tour locations across the country. So go there to find out information on those. But I'm so excited to go into schools.
I know
I'm so excited. And we are very, very excited about our interview today. We have the fabulous Stacy London joining us. She's going to be talking to us about how fashion changes as we age. I mean, personally, Penn, I used to really, really care about how I looked. Now, not so much, but it really stems from how my body has changed as I age. I really just don't know, how to dress anymore. And we wanted to talk to Stacy London. First of all, she's an icon. She was so empowering in terms of what I should be putting on my body. And I feel like I got fashion therapy, and I think you're going to love this interview.
Before we say hello to Stacy, it is interesting. Some of the, everyone's got stereotypes when it comes to fashion. And I think parents or Gen Xers, we've definitely had some stereotypes and probably feel like we're leaning into them a little bit, right? Like Gen X moms.
I mean, we were very yoga pants everywhere. I mean, millennial moms too. I don't want to, athleisure has become something that you can go out around and run your errands in athleisure and not feel bad about yourself. I've been trying to break that. I made a New Year's resolution last year to get dressed every day. That lasted for about a week.
That was a shocking New Year's resolution that you made.
I know, but I just felt, but that's why this podcast is so important. What you wear determines how you feel, for me anyway, right? And looking good does change how I feel. I'm not dressing for you. I'm not dressing for, other women. I'm dressing for revenge. No. I'm dressing to feel good about myself. And I gave up on myself after about a week, which says a lot.
The male stereotype, the dad stereotype has really become the quarter zip.
Oh my gosh.
It's like the Gen X dad thumbprint. That you're a Gen X dad if you've got a a sweater that stops right down here and has like a high collar.
Oh my gosh.
And I've just noticed it in a bunch of my friends too. Like we all just showed up one year at our like annual trip and we're like, oh, we're all wearing quarter zips now.
It's your uniform.
Yeah, I don't know that they're even good looking things. It's just someone told us to buy them, or maybe our wives bought them. I don't know what happened, but it just happened.
I love the conversation today. So we should just get
Let's
into it.
get to it. Absolutely. So Stacy London is a renowned fashion expert, author, and television personality. You probably know her as the co-host of the long-running TLC series What Not to Wear, with a career, though, that began in the editorial world at Vogue and Mademoiselle, which we'll talk to her about. Stacy has spent decades helping individuals discover their personal style and boost their confidence through fashion.
She's the author of the New York Times bestselling book, The Truth About Style, and has become a leading voice in conversations about aging, body image, and identity. She is a menopause and perimenopause advocate, and she's done such important work helping women through that time. And she has a new show on Amazon Prime called Wear Whatever the F You Want. So great. And it's such a great follow-up to What Not to Wear. So welcome to the show, the very fabulous Stacy London.
Oh.
Thanks for doing this. I'm so excited.
It is my pleasure. I think you are wonderful and inspirational. And honestly, you really have made so many people happy. And when the world feels really hard and awful, it's wonderful to watch you guys and not take yourself so seriously. It really means a lot.
Oh my God.
Well, that wraps up our show.
Take care, everybody.
I don't think we need any more from her. That's pretty much. No, I'm kidding. We're same.
I'm waiting for the check in the mail.
Yeah.
No, same right back at you. This is a real treat.
And everything makes me cry right now because I'm about to send my daughter to college. So that like almost made me cry. So thank you. Anyway.
Oh,
Well, it's nice to meet you.
And perimenopause, right?
I know we're going to talk about fashion and stuff, but I know you've been.
Let's talk about perimenopause.
I know you have done a lot of work in this space too. Perimenopause, menopause changes. Like items shift everything. Items have shifted during flight, right?
Yeah.
And so it does affect how I dress because I don't care / I don't know how to do it with this different body. It's everything is different.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I really think that there should be continuing ed for midlife and menopause. We talk about menopause now. I've been talking about it for so long that it is really very, it's very wonderful to see all of the, progress that's been made in women's health and menopause in particular. But I really think that we need a different instruction book because, everybody talks about their expiration date. Oh, after 40, it's all downhill, blah, 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 blah. Exactly. My feeling is that it's not that you have an expiration date. I mean, obviously you do when you die, but you don't have an expiration date for being powerful, capable, hot, any of the things that you want to be. It's the values that you held in your youth that have an expiration date.
Yes.
And things start to change in terms of what you care about and where your priorities are.
I could not agree more. I didn't realize this would happen though. So that's
Neither did I.
That is where I'm fully shocked. Okay. So let's back it up a beat. You became a household name. We watched your show about what not to wear, right?
Yeah.
And kind of loved part of the action was you got very firm with these people, sort of a fashion intervention, right? There was these rules and you had to follow them, right? But now your show, it feels very menopause. It feels like
it's very menopause coded.
It's very menopause
different.
Coded.
Yeah.
It's wear whatever the F you want.
Yes.
So,
and I will tell you, and I speak for both myself and Clinton when I say, we did not want to do What Not to Wear. Neither one of us was interested in doing What Not to Wear again, no matter how popular the show was, because, times have changed and conversations have changed. And this idea of, the two of us surprising people who didn't know that their family thought they dressed terribly. I mean, the whole gotcha of it feels like, we called in these big guns to tell you what to do, really is not at all my philosophy or Clinton's philosophy around fashion now. Right. And he came up with the idea where whatever the F you want. and said, you're really kind of the only person to do this with me because we originated the rules and now we've got to show people how to break them. And the wonderful thing about that is that, yes, if you watch What Not to Wear, that does not negate any of the fashion advice that we gave you, because we were really talking about proportion, about body shape, about things that are true. It's geometry, right? It's science. But the idea of helping somebody achieve their truest identity is something that we weren't doing on that show. And it is something we can do on this show. So on Wear Whatever the F You Want, we make suggestions, but we are literally the guardrails for your car to take us where you want to go. We're not dictating the rules. You're telling us what you want and we're helping you find it.
I think it's interesting because this is what I find in stores right now. I mean, I used to live in New York. I was a reporter on like a basic budget, but I loved putting together an outfit and I felt very confident in it, right? I felt very confident. Items have shifted during flight, right? Yes. Now, well, A, I don't know how much I care, but B, I will walk in the store and if you tell me, like some of the people that you, in this show, you're allowing them just to walk around and they look overwhelmed. I'll walk into a store now at 49 and I'm like, I don't know now I'm almost wanting you to tell me what to wear because like I just don't know. It's so overwhelming. Are you finding that as people age?
Yes. So I do find that particularly with women who were big fans of What Not to Wear, will come up to me and say, I love Wear Whatever the F You Want. I love the thesis, but I do need rules to follow or I can't figure it out, right? And it's very interesting. It's striking. You see this 20-year difference, right? Mm-hmm. Our Generation X, we're all about rules. We're longer, leaner, taller, thinner, whatever. We have that crazy body dysmorphia thing. We grew up with Kate Moss, but younger generations are so much more open. There's so much more body positivity, so much more gender positivity in a way that allows us to be so much more creative than we were on the show, right? And What Not to Wear, we were trying to make the most amount of people happy with a makeover in our audience, as well as the person having the makeover. Now, this is really, Wear Whatever the F You Want is focused on people who are interested in exploring a style they didn't think they could have, right? So there are rules involved in sort of what we want that style to be, but they're the ones kind of expressing that interest. Mm-hmm. And I think that what you're talking about in perimenopause is one of the most important things. There's a true loss of identity.
Yeah.
Who am I? I don't look like myself. I don't feel like myself. I love that you say items have shifted during flight. It's body weight redistribution. You may not even gain weight in menopause. Gaining weight is really more to do with aging than just menopause.
I don't think I've gained weight since like before kids. I'm the same, I think, scale number, but it's all shifted.
Yes, it's all shifted. Yes. And it changes where you carry your weight and it changes the way clothes fit on you. And so this is why I think this is why I hope I can write a book about midlife fashion, because I do think that there is also, we grew up with the benefit of cosmetic dermatology. We know much more about our health. We know to walk 10,000 steps a day, not smoke, drink less, all of these things that are going to elongate our lives, right? Our lifetimes. So with this much more time on our hands, I don't think you can look at middle age as the end of anything. Mm-hmm. It is truly a beginning. And I think that's true for men too.
Yeah. So first of all, the proof that your perspective has changed is I've been sitting here with these shower sandals in view this entire time, not realizing that I was wearing them until we're like, oh, we're on with Stacy and
London,
I'm wearing UFOs, which by the way are incredibly comfortable.
And you're wearing shower shoes.
And you haven't even said anything. So thank you for that. No,
you're welcome.
I want to know more about your change in perspective because your on-air outward persona is important. It's iconic. Was there a particular eureka moment where that shifted, or was it a slow, gradual thing?
I would say it was gradual until it was like, aha, right? I had a real aha moment at around, I'm 56 now, and I was around 47 when I stopped getting as many calls for work. I stopped getting asked to host more shows. I had been guest hosting on The View for around a year, and they chose not to go with me. And so I was feeling already like, makeovers don't really seem to be a thing anymore. And I have only ever done styling. And I'm tired of telling people what to do. And I felt this oh, maybe this is where the midlife crisis starts. You start to question what you do because all of a sudden it doesn't seem like it's very relevant to any job and I really was like, what else can I do? My book came out a year after we finished What Not to Wear. And after like a 22 city book tour, I was sort of like, what do I do now? And it really struck me that I was not interested in telling people what to do, that I wasn't getting dressed every day to like be on camera, which made me incredibly lazy. And then COVID happened.
Yes.
And I am telling you, I believe this has done something unbelievable to our society.
COVID has.
I don't anybody wants to wear hard pants again. I mean, I hope they're stretching that denim. You know what I'm saying? Because now we have a very different perspective on our work life, on our personal life, on what our priorities are. The same way I think we have to kind of think our priorities during perimenopause, because at first I thought it was just me. I'm the only one feeling this way. What is going on with me? I had no reference for menopause. I thought it happened in your 70s or 80s. Like I didn't know it was a midlife.
Everyone thought that.
Yeah.
Everyone. Because my memory is of Edith Bunker yelling at Archie, and there being an episode about her being, going through the change.
And whispered.
Right. And whisper. Jean Stapleton was 47 when she played Edith Bunker. From my 5-year-old perspective, she was 70.
Yeah, I know. She looked 70.
All right.
Right? And haircut was everything.
I mean, Golden Girls were like 40. Okay.
I'm just super interested, like what you said about COVID, and she was talking about how men are in the conversation. I go to a store now trying to look for clothes, and it looks, all the high fashion looks like it was designed by people who had some time during COVID.
What do you mean?
Everything's so much baggier and looser, and I can't be wrong about this. Like I'm trying to go find like a form-fitting shirt, and I walk into a nice store, and they're all like they're like way more breathable, and it's probably good. But I may have some of what you're talking about, Stacy, where I've like worked really hard to stay thin, and I want to look trim. And if I see something that makes me look boxy, but it seems like that's the direction that clothes are going in. Am I crazy here?
It's not, you're not crazy. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not as up on men's fashion as I am on women's, but oversized clothing. Yeah. Like when we were shooting Wear Whatever the F You Want, I just wanted clothes that wouldn't make me look like an elephant on screen, right? Because on television, you gain like 10 pounds, whatever it is. But I just wanted clothes that were fitted enough to look like I didn't look huge on screen. Every pair of pants was massive. It was like down to my hips, tripping on the floor. I really struggled with it. And I do think that there is this push towards, I don't want to say the pajamification of America, but it's sort of like the casual nation of America, right? You guys could be responsible for the pajamification of America, but we won't go there. It was cute. It was cute.
It was cute. So, I will say though, COVID, it changed everything for me because I loved shoes and I loved my heels. I put on a pair of heels to go to a wedding, and I think my feet are still recovering. Right, yeah. So I can't wear, I'm in sneakers all the time. I am in the baggy jeans. I have a pair of those rag and bone jeans that have the elastic waistband. They look like jeans, but they're sweatband jeans. Yeah. So, but I have the desire to look better because then I feel better. I mean, it's a very Gen X thing. Like if I look better, I feel better. So I've aged, I've changed shape. I got sucked 5 years of since COVID, and I haven't put on real pants. So like, where do I start? Where do the people listening start?
Well, where you start is where I ended, which is kind of funny. After spending so much time working on perimenopause, owning a menopause company, feeling like it wasn't the right fit, closing that and becoming an advocate, I realized when I would go out on speaking engagements that women between 40 and 60 would come up to me and say, I don't know how to get dressed anymore. I don't want it to be hard. I don't want to feel like everything has to be fancy, but I do have to go to the office, and I can't figure this out. How do I look relevant? How do I look good for my age without trying to look like my 25-year-old daughter? And that's why I came up with the idea for a clothing line. So I have a clothing line on QVC, which I'm not sure if you're aware of or not, but the idea around it was make everything comfortable and everything elegant. So remember that, I don't know, I guess it was the 80s, it looks like a pump but feels like a sneaker.
Yes.
That's the secret to my clothes. They look like clothes, but they feel like pajamas. Similar to that rag and bone vibe.
Yeah.
I do all my pants are elastic waist. Almost everything I do has like stretch, but I did brocade and I did like, metallics and things that you wouldn't normally see in a kind of line that is traditionally, the consumer is somebody slightly older.
Right.
I wanted to make something that brought in Gen X to the social shopping conversation outside of TikTok, because I do think that skews young. And I wanted to be able to make a collection that I felt had relevance specifically for somebody just like you,
Yeah.
who knows that there are times when getting dressed feels good, but also doesn't want to spend 8 hours, the night before trying to figure out what goes with what, and is this still appropriate? One thing I will say that's really changed is that I rely much more on clients now and having long talks with clients way before I will ever get to dressing them. Because one, I need to know where you're coming from. Are you coming from a place of insecurity? Are you coming from a place of knowing who you are? Or are you coming from a place of midlife hormonal confusion?
Yeah.
Whatever those issues are, I want to get to those, because how you feel about yourself and the way that you talk to yourself is just as important as what we're going to put on your body. So in some ways, fashion really starts in the brain.
Yeah.
What do you believe and what is true? So if somebody said to you, you didn't look good in green, you never did. Your aunt tells you didn't look green. I told you don't ever wear green. It doesn't go with your hair. But that's what somebody told you, and you believe it because somebody told you at a tender age, and we tend to remember criticism more than compliments. Mm-hmm. And then that gets lodged in our brains as truth instead of just a belief we can unlearn. Mm. And so I encourage people when they tell me, I can't wear prints, I can't wear green, I don't do this, I don't try leopard, I'm like, then we're going to have to just try all of it. Yeah. Right? You got to try it. It's like taking one step outside your comfort zone. And I think it's really important because when we talk about even men's clothing being too big, you still have agency, right? I want you to go and get either shirts tailored or have shirts custom made. Now, I'm not saying those are cheap options, but if you can't find what you're looking for, you can have it altered, certainly. Mm-hmm. Shirts can certainly be altered to fit you in a way that's more figure flattering for you and fits you the way you want it to. So I also tell people, don't give up just because something doesn't feel completely right. You just have to think about, is it valuable enough to you to change it? Is it inexpensive enough to alter it? And does it make sense? Is it something that I know that I'll wear? And my 2 criteria for wearing anything are use value and joy. And it has to satisfy at least one. Every purchase has to satisfy at least one of those 2 things. And then I also recommend shopping in outfits instead of just a one-off piece, because a lot of times we come back and we think we found something really brilliant and we can't figure out what to wear it with.
Yeah.
So you save yourself a lot of time by shopping an outfit so that you have an outfit ready to go. Then you go home and you play in your closet and you're like, look, this suit goes with every shirt I own. And I got it in the perfect, navy, and it goes with everything. And then I'm going to get a gray suit and I'll fix that. And then I'll get a black dress. And you start to see what's missing when you have outfits. Then you can play with mixing and matching them. But it's much harder if you bring home a bright floral shirt and realize that none of your neutrals look really good with it, or you don't have a color that goes with it. So even if you do buy a single piece, I always say, make sure it already goes with 2 things you own.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will put into your closet.
Well, those are great rules. Do you have any other shopping tips?
I don't even think of those as rules. I think of those as tips, right?
Yeah.
They're suggestions.
Gentle nudges.
Yes. No. Yeah. These are great.
They're gentle nudges.
Any other Stacy London nudges?
I will review because I know I just spouted them off. But
right.
When shopping in outfits, I think is incredibly important. And if you're not shopping in an outfit, you know specifically that you are either looking for something or something caught your eye that's so wild and it brings you immense joy, then buy it.
Yeah.
But think about, even try, I'm just talking about a shirt because I'm using that as an example. I would try the shirt on with pants from the store in the dressing room. Even if oh wait, I have pants exactly like this at home. then you know you don't need to buy the pants, but it will jog your memory so that whenever you make a purchase, you already have an idea of what it can go with.
Love that.
Otherwise, what happens is that you get a closet full of wonderful pieces that are disconnected. And I like to think of a closet as sort of like a living, breathing thing, and it changes, right? So I'm always looking to kind of find the connective tissue that makes it all work smoothly together. So I started a grocery list. I keep a Post-it on the inside door of my closet. And when I realized, wow, I'm really missing something, or if I had this one pair of pants, it would really tie together a lot of tops that I don't wear, I put it on the list. So I don't just randomly shop, right? I want a wardrobe that looks and feels great, that does not make me tense when I open my closet doors and go to get dressed. So I'm going to make a grocery list like I would to bake a cake. I want to turn out right.
Yes.
So I'm going to add all of these things in as I think of them, as I dress in the morning or as I put clothes away at night. Wow. All of my sweaters are black, navy, and gray.
How did you know, Stacy?
Right? But when you see that, you can put on the list, find a color that you love to wear so that you have a color in a bright red or tangerine or beautiful aqua blue. Doesn't matter. But if you notice that you're doing the same thing, you're buying the same pieces over and over, that's when you know you really have to branch out.
My husband here has 5 black t-shirts. He found a brand he likes. He's a tall guy. He's 6'5". So like off the rack, it's kind of hard. So
That's true.
He has 5 of this black t-shirt.
No, I have 2 of this, but then I have 2 slightly lighter blacks.
and then like a gray, and then like a.
Actually important that you know that, because
Yeah.
blacks, you can't just match black and black.
Yeah.
The material and how saturated the color is will make you look like you got dressed in the dark if you don't do it right.
I know. Thank you for that compliment. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'll say that I'm probably a stereotypical male, and I have a theory about this, by the way.
I'd love to hear it.
Okay, we have like 27 blue button-down shirts.
Yes.
They all look roughly the same. If we see a shirt that we like, we go online and we buy 65 more of them.
Yes.
I believe that men are more vulnerable than they let on when it comes to fashion and aren't really wanting to stem out on anything new.
Okay. Fair.
I agree with that, and I'll tell you why. My experience styling, and I'm making a distinction here, like with straight men for a reason, is because I do think that, certainly for our generation, there is some kind of weird, it's not shame. I don't even know if it's embarrassment, but it's like, no, you don't want anybody to know that you care, right? But we all care. We all care about the way that we look. Men, women, whatever gender you are, in some way, we are going to care about the way that we look because that's how we get accepted. That's just sociobiology, right? And if you're afraid to jump out of something or a certain pattern of dressing, that's because it served you well so far, right? It turns different if you say to me, I'm tired of black t-shirts and I really want to get some shirts like you've got great black and white hair. Like I would highly recommend wearing lavender. I think it would look amazing on you.
Okay.
Now,
What
is that
color-
a color
what
you
is
would think
lavender?
about wearing?
It's a lighter purple.
Okay, I should also mention
What
Stacy.
is lavender?
He's a little colorblind too, Stacy.
Yeah, I'm
Okay. All right.
mostly-
That's fair.
Sorry. So red, pink, and purple are all kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Blue.
I'll look
So
for
lavender.
lavender.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like, but again, the reason I say that is if you came to me and you said, I've got 5 black t-shirts, I've got 8 pairs of jeans, I've got, 27 blue shirts and a sports coat and a suit, right?
Yeah.
And you said to me you wanted to do something different, then the first place I would start with a man is color.
Okay.
Because I really believe that you have fewer options in terms of clothes, right? You can do skinny pants, you can do straight pants, you can do wide leg pants are in now as a trend for men. I don't think that's going to stick around.
Okay.
So generally speaking, there's just not a lot of innovation, I think, when it comes to dressing for men, because, unless you do want to wear a kilt,
Yeah. It's not
like you have kilts, skirts, dresses. You can wear those things if you want to. No shade, but most straight men are not walking around that way, and they're, cis heterosexual straight men. And I think that it is a little bit difficult to create outfits that are really interesting unless you're willing to take some chances.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing if you see men on the red carpet now. It's really become almost a standard to see men wearing big brooches, right, on their lapels, like diamonds and emeralds. And like, I totally credit Timothée Chalamet. I really do. He started, the partnership with Cartier, genius.
He made butter yellow famous, right? Didn't he turn butter yellow into like the new fashion? I saw that my daughter was like, look, Timothée Chalamet is wearing butter yellow now.
Yeah. But it's one of my arguments that nobody looks good in butter yellow.
Okay. There you go.
So I will say that I'm trying to spend time with my son, and he's obsessed with sports, and we were watching this like QB show on Netflix or something. Quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah. And part of it was one of the quarterbacks, forgetting his name, but he's very cute, but definitely younger. And he had a stylist. But it's so cool for my son to see, okay, this guy spent the afternoon with a stylist to find out what bag he's going to carry and to go with these green pants. And like, that's normal. And there wasn't a conversation about like, oh, does this make me look one way or the other? It was just like he wanted to be extra. He wanted to like push the boundaries. And so my son sees that as normal. For you, anything like that, it was some sort of derogatory thing.
All the people I wanted to be like when I was growing up, with the exception of like Weird Al, wore a suit and a tie when they went to work. And that was it. So,
yeah. That's what we grew up with. And, to some degree, I think it's also interesting. Like I don't dress it all the way I dressed on What Not to Wear. I don't wear 5-inch heels anymore and skin tight pencil skirts or dresses. What a bore. Yeah. There was a period in the early aughts where everybody was wearing platforms that looked like stripper shoes to me. I was like, we are all wearing clear lucite heels and we think this is cool, and like butter yellow, I think is a trend that's going to come and go pretty quickly because it's just not that flattering. But for me, I think, men really should have the opportunity. And, we always say it's like gay men have great taste and they always dress better or it's more dandy-like or they have more novelty. But that just isn't fair. It's like, it's not fair to lump any group into a certain kind of category. And I wish I even approached my publisher and said that I wanted to write a book on style for men. And they said no. They said nobody will buy it. Or if they buy it, they'll brown bag it like porn. And I was like, what?
Hang on. Here's the thing, though. I do feel like if I'm in a conversation with my buddies and I'm wearing something awesome, someone's going to say something like, huh.
Well, you need to get new friends.
You know what? I don't doubt that. And I think that is, it's part of our cultural patriarchy. And also the fact that like, why wouldn't your friend say to you, damn, you look good. Where'd you get that shirt? Right? Because that's what women do.
Most of my
friends.
That's
how I get some of my best designer ideas.
Yeah.
I think most of my friends do, but there's always one or two of them that I think are like old fashioned and are stuck in this, I think very, very arcane belief that if you are fashionable as a male, there's a chance you're gay, which by the way, isn't even a bad thing, but like, why are they attaching those two things to each other?
I don't know.
Well, because those stereotypes have been around for a long time. And I still think certainly right now, we're still fighting the LGBTQIA plus issues because we consider these things weird when we talk about them in heterosexual circles. This idea that it's not okay to care about the way that you present yourself. To me, it's so silly because we all have the same brain, right? We're all working with the same sort of, old school, technology in here. This is prehistoric computing. Yeah. And our brains, we make a judgment about anything we see in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Prehistoric. That's the word I was looking for. We're using prehistoric technology. Our brains they force us to make a decision about the person that we see in front of us in order to fight, flight, or freeze syndrome, right? Are they safe? That's what it used to be. Can they run from a saber-toothed tiger? Are they going to feed me? Am I going to mate with this person? Like there were literally like life reasons to keep the human race going that we have to make a judgment in 3 seconds. But as a society, now we make that judgment about like, her bag is cool. Or, he's wearing a different color, right? We use them for different things once we know you're safe, once we know we don't have to run away, all of those things. And it's kind of an extension of how we judge people, right? It's just a judgment. So if you control your own narrative, this is the thing about clothes that I will never get over. It gives you the power to get people to think what you want them to think about you. Right? Think about that. Like, that's kind of incredible that instead of somebody making some random judgment, you can impress upon that judgment, or you can help shape that judgment by the way you look when you show up. Are you going for a job interview? Are you dressed neatly? Are you dressed, in clothes with no stains or holes? Do you look competent, capable? Do you look like you're good at your job, or do you look like a mess? And I wouldn't trust you to go like near anything. Or do you look like a mess and you want to work in some like awesome thrift store and they're like, come on in. How much can we sell those jeans for? So it really, I always say the suit. It depends on the context and the narrative that you're trying to control. So if you are going to interview at a super old corporate law firm, that's very, very rigid and very, very conservative, you might want to wear a pinstripe suit, right? That's a visual language they will understand. But if you are going to audition to be a dominatrix, like, by all means, wear the leather cat suit. You know what I mean? Dress for the job you want.
Dress for the job you want, Penn. Leather cat suit. Meow.
Yeah.
Besides the vegan leather cat suit,
Yes.
What are some Gen X, like the people listening to this podcast, women, let's start with the women. What are some staples you think that we need to have in our closets?
I'm very careful about this question now,
Okay.
right? Because if you read Dress Your Best, or even The Truth About Style, there were a lot of suggestions about what things, more in Dress Your Best, we talked about the exact kinds of things you should have in your closet. In The Truth About Style, I think I talked more about the kinds of things that certain clothing represents, right? Mm-hmm. When I want to feel tough, or I want to walk into a situation and feel like I am the coolest chick in the room, I'm going to wear leather. I'm probably going to wear a leather jacket or cool leather jeans. That is a great, kind of armor for me.
Yeah.
Right. It makes me feel tough. Even when I'm nervous, I can put that on and I can be like, oh yeah, you can pull this off. Right. So there are certain things I never want to say anymore. There are absolutely certain things you have to have in your closet, because everybody's different. Everybody's individual, not body-wise, but in terms of what you're trying to achieve with what you're wearing. If you are a mom of many kids, I'm not going to say you should definitely get a latex catsuit, because you're going to wear that never, right? Yeah. Although maybe, I don't know if you have toddlers, it certainly won't stain if you get vegan or patent. It'll just, you can wash it with Windex. But really, the idea is, what are the things that are going to make you happy? Are they going to make you happy, and are they going to have use value? Jeans are obviously, I say denim for everyone, simply because denim and jeans in particular are like a blank slate. You can test any trend with jeans. So if you're not sure about, let's say, Miss Moneypenny, the sexy secretary look, or something like that, I'm just making this up. You could do a pussy bow blouse and a very fitted jacket with a pair of jeans, and you're already doing half the look. It's a lot easier way to take something that could look very trendy or very forced, and make it look much more casual and easy, much more like you. And then if you like it, you can add that pencil skirt and do the whole trend. But it's a really good way to start, is always testing things with jeans.
Okay. Any advice for, I'm just going to say a friend, but it's really me. Everything in my closet, you were saying all sweaters are like black, navy, and gray. That's me. All of my, I do it kind of by color and then style, all white or all black, all solid. And every time I go to the store, I come home with another white button-up shirt or another black something.
And you have 40 tank tops,
and I have
tank
40
tops.
white and 40 black. So how do I stretch myself when I walk into the store?
Okay, well, first of all, I don't think it's about stretching yourself in a store. I think it's about stretching yourself in your closet and figuring out what you can get rid of.
Yeah.
Because when you have that many of the same thing, you are not wearing all of them all the time.
No, I'm not. I'm wearing a tenth of my closet.
Yeah.
But
so
you should
usually
wear,
the rule is 80-20, right? We wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time, and we wear the rest of the 80 clothes 20% of the time. So my feeling is, you need to think about what you don't need in there before you can start to put things back. Because when you have 40 white tank tops and you have 30 black sweaters or whatever it is, you don't need more than 5. And that also sets you up, right? You can, and this is my other thing, you don't throw clothes away. We have enough clothing problems in the world. You either donate them to charity. You do a clothing swap with your friends. You can put them on consignment online, whatever, or take the tax write-off, right? And what you can do when you donate is you take whatever that amount is, and you say, I'm going to put this back into my closet. I'm reinvesting in clothes because I've gotten rid of them. Right before COVID, literally right before, I sold 27 pairs of high heels because I was like, I'm done.
Wow. Good timing.
I know.
Because if you did that
Great timing.
after COVID, nobody wanted them.
Right, exactly.
Good for you.
But they all sold designer shoes. They have a good second market.
Yeah. Also, if I have an 18-year-old daughter, obviously our styles are very different. But is there such a thing as, because so I walk into stores with her and everything's like, she's very confident. And like you were saying, body positivity. I mean, she is 5'10" and strong and just walks through the world. I'm so jealous. But
I will say that, again,
yeah,
you guys should give yourself a little bit of credit for that. You made an amazing human who now walks through the world in such a beautiful way. That doesn't happen with everybody, guys.
Well,
They're great parents.
thank you for saying we worked really hard. Oh,
Up top.
High five.
We worked really hard because Kate Moss was the person we were supposed to look like. We went kind of overboard into, anyway, she's great. But what her stores, I'm using air quotes there, her stores, I feel like I can't, is there such thing as age appropriate fashion?
It's funny. I used to say that there was, but the older I get, the less I believe that. I think that just naturally, I'm not interested in dressing in what an 18-year-old is dressing in. And the more I trust my own opinion, the less I worry about what other people are thinking about my style. I walk out of the house making sure I feel like I can kick ass. I feel like I am going to take over the world because everything I do now, I try to recommend to other people that I think is important. Anytime I go out, no matter what, I will find one person and say, you look beautiful today. Aww. You look stunning today. You look like a badass today. Whatever it is, somebody I see on the train, somebody I see on the street, I don't care. I just want somebody to know because it's been done to me.
Well, and then they're texting their friends, oh my God, Stacy London just said I look amazing.
Yeah.
Which I've done, I love to do that too. People who watched What Not to Wear or who are watching whatever the F you want, and they'll come up to me and they'll say, oh, I grew up with you. I'm like, thank you very much. You're a grown person now. You were 4 when you were watching. Lovely to hear.
Lovely to hear.
I was like, all of you got to watch the 360 mirror. Clinton and I aged on television in that 360 degree mirror. Every contributor only had to go in 3 times. We had to go in 3 times every week.
Oh,
yeah. God. Well, but it iconic, right? Iconic.
While we're going back in time, I'm getting increasingly fascinated just listening to you talk, and I'm going to tell you why. You're very confident. You're very self-assured. You are clearly an authority. You're very comfortable in your own skin. And I want to know more about your past. You went through Vogue in the 80s and 90s when it was a pretty cutthroat time where sexism was everywhere. Where you had to kind of be a badass.
I will say that I was 180 pounds. I'm 5'6", and I was 180 pounds when I worked at Vogue. I was like a size 16. And I was, everybody who worked at Vogue was a -0.
Right.
And I was not. And I had gone through, a college eating disorder. I got sick. I wound up in the hospital. I had to gain weight. Then I had to, balance out all of these things, all while at Vogue. And my way of dealing with that was by being the class clown, by working 3 times harder than everybody else. I worked with 3 editors instead of 1. And, really, I had to prove myself. I didn't want to be sort of, I don't know, back in those days, we weren't even talking about body positivity. I would walk into a store and say, hey, do you have a size 8? And they would be like, we don't carry larger sizes.
What? Wild
times. But it was what I came out of it with was that really the fashion industry is built on insecurity. Yeah. That's what it runs on. It doesn't run on money. It runs on insecurity, and it runs on money, but you know what I mean. And what if we came at fashion from the opposite perspective? See, fashion is an industry, but style is for the individual. And that's where we get to control the narrative and make our choices. And once I realized that, having studied philosophy, psychology, and literature in college, when I got to What Not to Wear, The last piece of that puzzle was truly learning compassion. Compassion for people who I thought were so wonderful, who would look at themselves in the mirror and cry or not believe that they'd let themselves go or couldn't believe that they could look so beautiful. And it wasn't the what not to wear stories. It was what happened after. You know, people would get the job of their dreams, meet the love of their life, have children, like have better relationships with their kids, get divorced. They would change their lives based on this very significant visual transformation. And so I don't know where I was going with this. What was I talking about? Oh, and this is why compassion was sort of the last piece of the puzzle for me, because when I could see people doing it to themselves, I thought, oh my God, I talk about myself this way. I talk to myself this way. And here I have so much empathy for these other people. I've got to be kinder to myself. And if I can do that, then I can walk through the world with a certain amount of self-assurance. Doesn't mean I don't have insecurities, but I'm not going to let insecurity run my life. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to speak to it. I'm going to do what I can to, you know, kind of devalue it. But I'm always going to give more compassion to myself than I was able to before that show. That show really changed me.
Well,
Amen.
Amen. I mean, I think if we could all strive for that, right? If we could all strive to just be a little kinder to ourselves.
A little kinder to ourselves. And also, I just think, unfortunately, one of the downsides of, you know, sort of our huge technological advances is that a lot of the outcomes of social media were possible, but we didn't think they were probable, right? This is what Tristan Harris was saying at the last TED conference about AI. You know, we have this incredibly powerful tool that we're going to unleash to humans with no guardrails around it. And we saw what happened when we had the opportunity to do that with social, and we didn't put guardrails around it. And you see loneliness, depression, isolation, comparison, envy, all of these things that we weren't counting on. We were counting on people connecting, right? And yes, that's the great side, that I can meet somebody from across the world who has psoriatic arthritis like me, right? That's the great part. But all the other things have not been great. And we're not looking at ways to counteract that. We're not looking at ways to make people feel more confident about themselves. And that isn't about giving advice. That's about helping people find what helps them. And any great stylist will never impose their style on you. They will find the style that lives in you.
Changing lives through style and fashion is Stacy London. Okay.
But before we let you go, you have a fan.
You can keep me as long as you like.
You have a fan in the room. Her name is Sam Allen. She's our producer on the show. And I'm sure she'd like to say hello.
Do you want to come over?
So she showed up. I'm like, Sam, you look nice today.
Sam put on
I didn't mean that you don't always look nice.
Oh my God, Sam, I'm so excited to meet you.
Sam is our producer.
All right, guys, I'm in the back now. We're good.
I was sitting behind this screen, so I couldn't see you. But I know you've heard this a million times. I grew up watching your show. And I do wear a t-shirt every day. I told my mom that you were going to be on the show. And she was like, if you wear a t-shirt tomorrow, I will kill you. And so we grew up watching you. And she's like, you can't wear a t-shirt in front of Stacy London. So, yeah.
Tell your mom I'm wearing polar fleece.
And I have to add, like, when you came out, that was also big for me as a proud lesbian. Yeah. So that was like huge.
You know, I can't thank you enough for that. And, you know, I've told people many times, if I had known when I was on What Not to Wear that I was queer, I would have come out sooner. It wasn't, I just didn't know. And that was another crazy thing about midlife, was start dating women. I never dated women until I was 49 years old.
Whoa.
So,
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So, Penn, not to worry, but just so you know.
At 49, the time.
Dating women is awesome.
She built shelves for her girlfriend because she's like, I just thought you needed them. And I'm like, oh, God, I need a handy guy.
Well, you don't have that.
No, I do not have a handy guy.
She does not have a handy guy. That's right.
But
That's
you know
what stands
You're
for.
wonderful in so many other ways. Not everybody can be all things to one person, right?
I mean, I feel like that's a song in like 5 seconds.
He can write me a song. He can write me a song.
He writes lyrics in his head. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that you'll write a song like Ode to Stacy by Penn.
Ode to Stacy.
Penn, get in here, write her a song.
Stacy, I'll send you a song in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll send you a song in 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you a song in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Before he sends you your song, is there anything besides whatever? I'm sorry.
Wear whatever the F you want.
If you want. Sorry. Is there anything else? Sorry. Is there anything else we can help you spread the word on?
Well, there's a couple things. I'm hoping we're going to get a second season for Where the F You Want. We're waiting to hear. And in the meantime, we had a storefront for the show. So you could shop the looks that each of the people were in. Oh. And we extended that so that I started a storefront on Amazon of all my favorite things, having nothing just to do with the show, but all my favorite things that I think are comfortable, beautiful, helpful in every category: pets, home, fashion, beauty, all the things that I love, that I will tell you, I had no idea. If you do some like real deep diving on Amazon, the stuff you'll find is remarkable, which I just didn't know.
Right.
So I started my own storefront, which I'm very, very proud of. I have tried and tested every product. I can discuss any product at length. And then, my QVC brand by Stacy London, if you are between 40 and 60, I really encourage you to try it. I encourage you to try it if you're between 60 and 80. Yeah. And I encourage you not to try it if you're younger, because you can probably borrow your mom's eventually.
I love this. We will put links to both in the show notes. And this has been a joy. I love talking to you. I could talk to you forever. Penn's going to send you a song. And then when we're in New York, you're going to take Penn shopping.
I would. Okay, first of all, can we make a pinky swear deal on that?
Yeah,
pinky swear.
Okay, great.
No, that'd be awesome.
I actually, Clinton is 6'4". Having height is the best thing to dress well. I mean, I love it for men and for women. I mean, that elongation is amazing, but it's really great on men.
Yeah.
So I would love to take you shopping. And two, I just felt like we would already be friends.
Yes.
We're friends.
I'm getting that very strong vibe about that. You're a lovely human being.
I kind of knew this would happen. I'm not going to lie. And I don't even know if we talked about fashion enough, because I did know that there were more questions you wanted to ask me. But the one thing that I will say, the most important thing that I'll say, is that I think that middle age, if I could call it anything, is really an amount of time where you go from a real reckoning to a renaissance. And for anybody who's in the middle of that reckoning or in the middle of that storm, the most important thing is identity. And it's very hard to keep it when you are going through something that can be a struggle and that can feel both mentally and physically difficult to push through. But I promise you, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And the more you do on the work of who you want to be, the better your style at this age will be.
Well, this has been so much fun. It was so nice to meet you. You
too, guys. Really, it was an absolute pleasure.
I feel like I just went through fashion therapy. Okay, Sam, what did you think of Stacy London?
I'm starstruck, actually.
Right? Like to see her sweet face.
And she was so nice.
So nice.
I'm sure she's told every single day, I watched you. But I don't know, she seemed genuine.
Yeah.
Well, and you didn't get to, because you're back there listening to audio, you didn't get to see her. She's crazy animated and has a very positive energy about her.
Because she has that energy that is so enviable. Those women that are just a force. And so I just was so excited to talk to her. It was so great. What'd you learn?
So much about the different sources of dysmorphia and body images, and that being generational. Mm-hmm. That, I never thought about that, right? The whole Gen X part of it and what we grew up around. And she obviously was intimately involved with that, with all the magazines. It didn't sound surprising when she said that all of these fashion magazines peddle in insecurity. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I've ever heard it said exactly like that. So she's a visionary. She comes from a place where she's kind of a cutting edge visionary when it comes to this stuff.
It is just amazing as a Gen X woman who was a part of the industry that served us these grossly thin models as beauty standards, for her to be able to unravel
and completely shift the paradigm.
That's pretty amazing work. And I think that I am proud of seeing how my daughter and her friends walk around with confidence, eating donuts and cookies and pasta, and like don't have like what if jeans are tight, whatever, get new jeans. Like, whereas we didn't, or I didn't, I shouldn't give that to everybody, but I did not have that sort of confidence. So if my jeans got tight, I'd be like, oh, stop eating donuts. Anyway, in previous episodes, we were workshopping what to call people who listen to this show. Are they laugh liners? Like what are we calling this community that we're creating? Because it is a very, very cool group of people that is growing by the minute.
And so here are some suggestions that we got. Patty said she likes laugh liners.
Okay.
Simple. Gerard said Holdernessers. Kim said, is this you, Kim, or
Not
someone
me,
else?
Kim.
Another Kim said Laughables.
Oh, like a Lunchable.
I like that. Might be my clubhouse leader.
Because you know what? Because Gen X is so Lunchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
Laughables.
Perry said, if your studio is the Holderness, we are all Holdernesters.
I like that. So Anne-Marie Tapke submitted some ideas.
She's very creative.
The Laugh Pack. Love that.
Yep.
Fine Line Friends. That's because laugh lines.
Mm-hmm.
Crow's Feet Club. Oh, I sort of like that. The Cackle Club.
My two favorite of all of these are, so if this is me, I like the Laugh Pack because it reminds me of the Brat Pack. Mm-hmm. And I like the Laughables. But we're going to keep this open for a little bit.
So send us your suggestions. You can leave a comment on the YouTube video or you can email us, podcast@theholdernessfamily.com.
Also, like maybe they should make the decision anyway because we're naming them.
So how about we do this? We're going to crowdsource and then we're going to do a vote.
We'll do a vote.
20 minutes ago, Penn told Stacy London that he'd have a song for her.
Why?
And I think it's actually been 15 minutes. I've just been sitting here scrolling on my phone and I have no idea what's about to happen. So here is Penn's ode to Stacy London.
She said she wanted an ode to Stacy. And ode to me feels, and I do think this is an ode to Stacy, but I decided to use the homonym version. So this is called Ode to Stacy, like OWED.
Like we owe this to Stacy.
These are things that are owed to Stacy.
Okay.
So it's both an ode to Stacy and it's ode to Stacy.
Got it.
That's some next level shit right there. We feel like Stacy and us are friends. She helps us out with fashion trends. And she says it's okay to be a little bit crazy. These are things that are owed to Stacy.
Yes.
She used to be a makeover juggernaut. Now she says wear whatever the F you want. She make him feel better about dressing lacy. These are things that are owed to Stacy.
Love Bob. This is a Bob.
She taught us that style should be joyful. But maybe don't wear a cat suit to a job interview because that may not be employable. Unless it's for a dominatrix interview.
Are there a lot
Now a happier fashion life awaits me. These are things that are owed to Stacy.
Yay! That was incredible.
There we go.
She's
That's what
gonna
we're owed to
love
Stacy.
that.
Yeah.
Aw, good job, babe.
So we're not going to do that every show.
I think we should do
Oh, God.
a song after every show. Okay, should we read credits? You should sing the credits.
Okay. Laugh Lines is written and produced by Kim Holderness, Penn Holderness, and Anne-Marie Tapke. With original music by Penn Holderness, including this song. It is filmed, edited, and live produced by Sam Allen. And hosted by Acast. As always, we love to hear from you. Please write to us at podcast@theholdernessfamily.com or leave a voicemail at 323-364-3929 and we will talk to you soon on the Laugh Line.
Yes!